read the comments after later. There's always time after later to read the comments. So, how are you? I hope you're well. The cat came back. Yes, the cat came back. I'm back. Belinda is not here today. She had better things to do, as I mentioned. Sad to me. To me, it's sad. I'm sure that you're sad too. I'd like to right now do a little bit of nose work, but I don't want. I don't want to. I got a little bit of sniffles. I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's the coronavirus. I don't think I have the coronavirus. I like to think it. I'm finding this. I've got this in common with kind of a lot of people right now, that where we like to think that we don't have. We've already had it. That we're immune because we had it already. So that's going. It's going around that people think that it's already going around and they've already had it. I probably haven't already had it, but I'd love to be immune to it. That would be my dream. So. What the hell is the camera doing right now? It looks away. It looks away. It's on. I set the automatic pilot. Anyway, hello. I've got some weird animal news today for us to discuss, and let me just look that up quick. I looked up weird animal news, and I did find a few stories here. Did you know that female Komodo dragons can produce babies without first receiving sperm from a male? I found that out today. These female Komodo dragons are at the forefront of the future. I guess it turns out that a lot of reptiles can do that, but they didn't know that Komodo dragons can do that. Or maybe not a lot, but several. Snakes and lizards have been able to do that before. But it's called parthenogenesis. That's your word for today, parthenogenesis. Did I get that right? Yes, parthenogenesis. And that is where you don't have to have someone else to reproduce, to make babies. I don't think males can do it. I think only females can parthenogenerate. So hats off to those Komodo dragons. And then it turns out that they have male Komodo dragons. So they give birth to the male Komodo dragons, and then those males can mate with the mom, and so you can have a lot of Komodo dragons. A lot of Komodo dragons from one Komodo dragon. They can breed up a whole society. I don't know how that works. I don't know how the whole genetics of that. Believe me, I barely understand what's going on with the lockdown, what the rules are. I mean, I know we're not supposed to get close to each other. We're only supposed to go to essential businesses. I went out today. I got my coffee. I did my online jiu-jitsu class. I'm doing jiu-jitsu online now, which is completely ridiculous. It's wrestling, so you want to be able to wrestle with someone, but you're not allowed to wrestle with someone. So you have to pretend that you're wrestling with someone. So you do a Zoom conference call, and then we all pretend to wrestle with an invisible person. I mean, some people are maybe pretending to wrestle with the other people who are on the Zoom call, but I'm not doing that. It's not too many comments today, so this may be a short one because I'm without my wife. She'll be back tomorrow. As I mentioned, she's got better things to do. She went to the grocery store today. Always a little depressing at the grocery store during this virus time. You know, it's other people. There was somebody was cranky because someone else was too close to them. There was some toilet paper thievery going on at the grocery store today. People stealing toilet paper out of the carts of other shoppers. Really naughty. We've been saving our newspapers. We do still get a Sunday New York Times, the failing New York Times, but it seems to be doing pretty well right now. We get it digitally during the week, and I'll tell you one thing about the digital newspaper, can't wipe your butt with that thing. But luckily, the Sunday New York Times is substantial, and so worst comes to worst, we save those, and we'll be able to use those to wipe our bottoms if we have to, if this keeps up. But there is talk that they're going to start the old economy back up, and we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. We're going to be having whatever we need to wipe our bottoms. I'm not getting any comments, which is unusual. I mean, that could mean that nobody's really enjoying this, but well, you can't win them all, as I've said before. Do I do the New York Times crossword puzzle on Sundays? No, I don't. I'm not a crossword puzzle person. I feel like those are the crossword puzzle things. Are for people who do crosswords all the time, and then you get good at it. It's like Scrabble. If you're good at Scrabble, you love Scrabble, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have a great vocabulary. It means that you know a lot of little teeny tiny words, the Scrabble winning words. You know all of those. But are you a better person than the rest of us? Well, I don't think so. If my wife was here, she would disagree because she loves Scrabble. But no, we haven't been doing the New York Times crossword puzzle. We've been doing some jigsaw puzzles. Oh my God, we got this jigsaw puzzle, artisanal something or other. Regular jigsaw puzzles have sort of a vocabulary of the shapes of these puzzles, but this artisanal one, it's made out of wood, and the shapes are crazy, kooky, swirly shapes, and some of the pieces go inside of other pieces. Insane. It was only 119 pieces, and to be honest, Belinda did the jigsaw puzzle. I participated a little bit, but I couldn't focus in the way she just went completely one end of the spectrum on that thing, and she just dove in hard. So now people are here. So people are scared at the grocery store. Could always get a bidet to avoid the TP issue. I would do that. I have a plumber. I have a relationship with a plumber who's also a Kiwi. My wife is from New Zealand, so is our plumber, coincidentally. And he called because he usually comes this time of year to root out the drain. Because we've got some roots, and his advice was, look, we could either dig this up and figure out where the roots got in, or I can just come twice a year and ream it out. And so he had to call to postpone the pipe reaming because he's so busy with his other plumbing projects. So plumbers are busy right now, and they're essential, as that's why you want to have a relationship with a plumber, because they're essential and they're in demand. Anyway, he couldn't be bothered to come and do his regular pipe maintenance on schedule, so I don't think he's available to install a bidet. But yes, it did occur to me to get a bidet, and I'd love to get a bidet. I'm online shopping for bidet. If you want to put a link to your favorite bidet in the comments, or email me at jake@jakethis.com, the best bidet. And please, no joke bidets. I don't need joke bidets. I need actual bidets that my family and I could use to wash our butts during these troubled times. If you're going to unwind with a drink, what's my go-to? Well, that's changed over the years. Right now, unwind. I'm winding right now. This is my coffee mug from Iowa. You can see. Is this heaven? No. Great camera work. No, it's Iowa. So I'm drinking coffee right now. I started making cold brew a few years ago. But I would say unwinding with a drink, with an alcoholic drink. I love New Orleans, so the beer down there is Abita, so I do like an Abita Amber. But I would say my favorite drink right now is probably going to be either a vodka martini or a bourbon and water. Bourbon and water, also New Orleans. I do love a bourbon and water, and I don't need the super expensive bourbon, but I like a nice scotch. But I could just have a Maker's Mark. That's kind of fancy, but not super fancy as the super fancy people go. That's why I don't think I would be such a great mega rich guy, because I'm lucky that I don't have those mega rich tastes where I don't need the $30 shot of scotch. I can get the $30 bottle of scotch. That's where I'm at. Happy Monday, Daniel. Yes, thank you. Got Sgt. Pepper's and Sgt. Pepper inner sleeve jigsaw, two-sided. Wow, that's nice. And so you have to figure out, if it's two-sided, you have to figure out which side of the jigsaw, which side of the piece you want facing up. That's complicated. You could do it on a glass coffee table like Raymond Burr, and then you could go underneath and look from the bottom. Raymond Burr, Danny Thomas, kind of famous for this peculiar sexual peccadillo that involved a glass coffee table. I'm not going to go into that, but yeah, shout out to Daniel the plumber. Stayed in a hotel with a bidet. I thought it was a drinking fountain. No, you didn't. You didn't think it was a drinking fountain. That's so, a bidet is right down, it's at toilet level. What kind of drinking fountain would that be? You didn't think it was a drinking fountain. I mean, I get it. That was a joke. But you could think it was a dog dish or a tiny or a baby bathtub, something like that. But I don't think you could think it was a drinking fountain. The best bidets, in my opinion, were when we were on this world tour with the great Russell Peters. Took me on his world tour. And they're installed in the seat of the toilet and you can direct the nozzle to which part, where you want it, and control a lot of things. The firmness of the pressure and the pulsating or kind of bubbling. So nice. But that's enough bidet talk. Yes, like the dream of Field of Dreams. That's the coffee mug is a reference to Field of Dreams. Is this heaven? No, it's Iowa. That might be a good movie to bust out right now, Field of Dreams. But I don't remember it enough. You never know. That's where you can get ambushed by things you watch now, and all at once there's some. So yeah, those tornadoes, man, from Iowa. Now I seem like a crazy person because I'm reading the comments and I'm just responding to them as if everybody can see them. But yeah, my crazy neighbor back in the day, he had those tornadoes, man. They come and tear your whole fucking house down. That's a flashback to the past. For people who want to see it. Anyway, yeah, it could be a drinking fountain for little people. The bidet, I don't think so. I think you'd have to do a real kind of sales pitch to get someone to drink out of a bidet. I mean, to the point where you would almost feel creepy when they finally went to take a drink. You would stop them and go, no, 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 no. You'd feel good about yourself because you'd convince them of that. But I don't, and your powers of convincing people, but I don't think you'd feel good about yourself if you saw them drinking out of a bidet. But I don't know what kind of a person you are. So maybe you would. Maybe you would feel good about that. I'm stocked up on Varsoil. Oil. You better believe it. You better believe I'm stocked up on Varsoil. Oil. I got that. I'm soaking in it right now. So yeah, bidet. I'd love to get a bidet. That's on my to-do list. I wish I had done that before this Varinus lockdown, which I'm calling it the Varinus or the Veronis, because I'm trolling the coronavirus by calling it by the wrong name to see if it'll ask me to call it by the other name. I can see out of the corner of my eye that the auto camera is really problematic right now, so I'm going to see if I can fix that, kind of disable that for a minute. There we go. I'm going to turn off the autopilot. Oh no, yeah, there we go. I think that might make it a little bit better. Yeah, I didn't get the bidet in time. I have a favorite bit that I've ever done, most proud of. Thanks, Dean. That's a nice question. Do I have a favorite bit that I'm most proud of? I did a bit years ago about it's not the guns that kill people, it's those darn bullets that make them go really fast. And it was a joke that always got a good result. And I did that joke when I performed for the president and some members of Congress at Ford Theater. And so I felt like I was a little. It was George Bush, the father, H.W. Bush. And I did the joke. It was a little bit of a gun control-y, not really, but sort of a, hey, maybe we should, guns are dangerous. That's what I had. That was a takeaway from that joke. Guns are dangerous. So I was kind of proud of that. But I don't know, the bits that I'm most proud of now, I don't know. I think there's a few in my act. You'd have to come and see it. If we're ever allowed to go see each other perform. I would love to come see you perform. If you do a show. I mean, I shouldn't say that because I don't know what show you do, but anyway, I hope you'll be able to come out and see a show. Always like the highway driving bit, driving with your team. Oh, yeah, where you're rooting for the other cars, where you kind of get in that bunch of cars and you go down the highway. I did like that. That was a bit of mine for a while. Anyway, now we're going down memory lane. Some people don't know what we're even talking about. We can go back to some funny animal. Let's go back to the animal facts that I looked up. I told you about the Komodo dragons. You have to go back and see that. A python vomited up another python. This happened in Australia. An Australian man moved a gigantic python away from his house, and the animal puked up its last meal, which was another python. It was a python, and it threw up. And inside of the python was another python that, according to this article, was roughly the same size as the python that he was moving. I mean, but like the same length. Obviously, the python he was moving had a big lump in the middle until it threw up the other python. But yeah, pythons are kind of, it turns out they're terrible. They're terrible, eating other pythons. I suppose maybe that's not terrible to a python. I mean, look at us. We're sort of terrible human beings. Look, we've taken over this planet. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was thinking about this idea that, we're now, our immune systems are trying to adjust and learn about this coronavirus. And when you think about the whole Earth as a body, the Earth's immune system is probably trying to figure out in some way how to deal with us human beings. You know, we're making some significant changes to the planet. You know, we've dug all the oil out of the ground. I mean, if you were the Earth, if you were kind of the Mother Earth animal, and you were trying to figure out like what the hell is going on, they've dug up all the oil, or not all of it, but a lot of it, and we're burning it in these little machines that we made to drive around, and we're invading all the other land on Earth. We started off in one area, now we're invading the whole Earth. I mean, if we saw some ants that had built little machines and they were driving around and they were raising other little tiny insects to eat and make into clothing, and they had crops and they were digging out oil and to power their little machines, we would be like, what the hell is going on? Maybe we gotta control these ants. And so the Earth has got to be, what the hell are human beings doing? But it's got us to all stay home right now. The Earth has gotten us all to stay home by the coronavirus has got us all staying home. And so I'm trying to think of the coronavirus metaphorically as if it's the Earth's immune system that's fighting us and getting us to just cut it the hell out for a minute, until we figure it out. And then of course we're going to get on our rocket ships and go take over another planet, do the same thing. I mean, we could activate the galaxy or the universe's or the solar system's immune system, and I don't think we want to deal. I don't even like this coronavirus predicament that we're in, much less when we have to deal with the solar system's immune system. Used to kill it in at the Comedy Cafe on K Street. Oh my God, the Comedy Cafe on K Street. Yeah, that was an amazing club. I love that place. Once saw a frog eat a bird. Yeah, well, I did tell Belinda was here the other day. We told the story about the squirrel eating a bird. Horrific. But yeah, the Comedy Cafe on K Street, this guy, Dan, who owned it, was just a real, I really liked this guy. He was very serious, never had a drink of alcohol or smoked a cigarette or drank coffee in his life. He was a martial artist. And he had, the comedy club was on the 3rd floor, and on the middle floor, there was like a sports bar. And then the bottom, kind of in the sidewalk half basement, was a strip club. And then there was a stairway in the back that connected all three. So when you got off, that was kind of where you were before you went on stage to do the show at the Comedy Cafe on the top floor. You'd wait kind of in that back stairwell and then come out, because it was very small. And then sometimes you could go down the stairs and say hello to the strippers. Nice. Who doesn't want to say hello to the strippers? When I was younger, man, do you want to say hello to the strippers? Yes, I do. I do want to say hello to them. But I think one of those strippers stole one of my nice jackets. I shouldn't spread a bad rumor about strippers, because I'm sure a lot of them are really nice. But I did have a jacket that, with the color of it, so it was this peachy kind of color, and I don't know, songbirds loved it. Love animal facts. They seem to be doing better without us, for sure. Yeah, the animals are doing a little bit better without us. I don't know if you've seen the videos of the civet cats and, you know, weird oxeny deer things that are running around the streets in India. Yeah, the animals are happy that we're taking a break. Don't anger the ant overlords. Yeah, you're right about that. That's my friend Jeb chiming in there. Our ant overlords. That's who's really running the planet. When you think about biomass, yes, there's a lot of human beings. I'm going to have to do some more nose work here just a second. My sinuses are a little bit drainy. But yeah, when you measure the biomass, the insects have got us human beings beat like crazy. The weight, the biomass, meaning the weight of all the, when you put the weight of all the humans up against the weight of all the insects, they're winning. I mean, ants, I think, probably got us beat alone, but I'd have to Google that, and I don't have time to do that right now, but maybe before tomorrow. Yeah, so our ant overlords, they're, Miss Manners' question, if you have a mask on and have to sneeze, you just do it in the mask, or do you rip the mask off and sneeze into your elbow? Come on, Miss Manners. Oh, that's my friend Mark. I think that the answer to that is, I think you sneeze into the mask, but that could be catastrophic in terms of your own personal face environment. If you're doing a big, if it's a big, excuse the expression, wet sneeze that you feel like you're going to do, I think you want to pull it down and get a separate hanky, catch the sneeze in there, and then put the mask back up. But I think in a crowded situation, I think you gotta blow it right into the mask, because if you're pulling down trying to get into you catch it with your elbow, you've got a vulnerable moment there, and you don't need accidents happening. You don't need to aerosol those particles and then have them infiltrate someone else's immune system. So yeah, that's my answer to that. You sneeze into the mask, generally speaking, but ideally, well, if you anticipate that you're going to do some big explosive wet, pardon the expression, sneeze, maybe someone else should be going to the grocery store for you. That's my advice. And then when you're home, you can explosively maybe if you've got other people at home, you don't want to be explosively sneezing into the room. You want to catch it in something. But we don't wear wet masks at home. I don't think that's going on. What's my favorite club in Atlanta? Well, the one that was attached to the diner. Yeah, that's the latest. There's a club in Atlanta right now called the Punchline that used to be out in Sandy Springs, but it's now, or at least the last time I was there a few years ago, it was attached to a diner. And I did enjoy my weekend there. I had a great time several times that I've been to Atlanta, working at the Laughing Skull, and God, what was the name of that place before that Marshall had? The Funny Farm, I think. That was fun. But Atlanta's always a good time. I'd love to get back to Atlanta if we're still allowed to go places and do shows and meet each other. Yeah, it is the ants' world. We just live in it. Someone else has said that here. Is nose work what you call that? Yeah, that is what I call it. I call it nose work. Yeah, I have to do a little nose work. Get out of the camera's range. Do a little nose work. Come back. That's what I do it. That's how I call it. That's what I do it. I'm not sure my mouth is working right now. Anyway, I'm excited that we may finally get to be tested for the antibodies of the coronavirus virus, because I like to think that I'm already a superhero. But if I'm not, I would like to find out who amongst us are superheroes, and then I would like them to be able to do whatever they do to save the planet, so that the rest of us can get on with doing comedy shows like we used to. Don says he's seen my show twice, Good Nights in Raleigh. I love Raleigh, North Carolina. My comedy album that I made in 2000 called Live at Cobb's Comedy Club, which is where it was, Live at Cobb's in San Francisco. But the photo on the front was taken of me on stage at Charlie Goodnight's. That's some trivia for you. Who gives a big fat poop? I don't know. Jeff says, I'm worried that if you sneeze into the mask, it might flip up. Well, yeah, if it's explosive and you've only got that elastic, you could have a little bit of a mask flip up, right? That could be disastrous. I think if you're going to blast a explosive sneeze into your mask, you want to get your hand up over the top of the mask and to try and add that secondary level of containment. But again, I've said this before, but I think I should say it every episode. I'm not a doctor. Yeah, nose maintenance. Yeah, that's a thing. My nose maintenance is a good one. I used to call it butt maintenance. My friend Dr. Jim Raines, who did the theme song for my podcast, which hasn't been up for a while because I've been doing this. Dr. Jim Raines called it butt maintenance, or did I call it butt maintenance? I don't know. Sometimes I have to do a little butt maintenance. Sometimes I got to do a little nose maintenance. Cobb's is great in San Francisco. It is a great club. Although they've moved now to their third location since I've started doing stand-up, and the third location is very big, and it's great. I do like it. The first and second locations were a little more intimate, and I love those places. And lately now I've been working at the Punchline in San Francisco. Punchline and Cobb's are now owned by the same entity, but yeah, San Francisco is a great comedy city, and I can't wait to go back there as soon as all this, I don't know if blows over is the right word. Wear a mask in my pants in case I get an explosive diarrhea. Eddie, come on. Really? That's not a mask. That's a diaper, my friend. You're wearing a diaper. That's not a mask. And just by the way, here's a little hint from Heloise. Yeah, you can wear a diaper on your face. Obviously, we're talking about a clean diaper. That's a great face kind of a containment thing. Face diaper. Face diaper. Somebody needs to copyright or patent that right now. Eddie, if it's not you, it's not me, then it's us. We gotta patent the face diaper immediately. I did see someone do a great mask with a pair of underwear. Pull the underwear over your head and put, one leg is up here and then the other leg comes down from the top. So you're just looking out of a little. Maybe tomorrow with my wife, I'll do the underwear face mask for everyone. Who's my favorite comedian of all time? We're twins. Seen you twice in Indianapolis at Morty's. Well, hi, Darren, and your twin. I don't know if you guys are together all the time, but thank you for coming to the shows. Indianapolis. That's a city that I haven't been to in a while. I'd love to get back. My favorite comedian of all time, man. I started in San Francisco back in the day. I started there because that's where Robin Williams started, and so he was probably my idol. Robin Williams and Steve Martin were my idols before anybody was my idol, as stand-ups go. To do a live show on stage by themselves. But the guy who I love from when I started off, who I'd seen many times because I would open. When I started, you're the opening act, and then the other more established acts go on after you. And so before he got Saturday Night Live, before he became famous, Dana Carvey was one of my favorite people to just watch. You could watch and learn so much. I saw him do shows where he got standing ovations every night. I mean, you could watch him do the same show that you saw the night before. I mean, obviously every night it changes a little, and laugh just as hard the second. So Dana Carvey, man, I would pay money to go see Dana Carvey, and you should too if you have that opportunity. Who else? God, Kevin Meaney, rest in peace. We were just talking to some friends about Kevin Meaney. You can watch him on YouTube. Kevin Meaney. You may seem a little silly or weird at first, but watch the whole set, and he's just so silly and likable. It just makes you laugh so hard. Anyway, face diaper certainly will keep people at the distance. Yeah, if you're wearing a face diaper and it has face diaper TM right on the front of it, yeah, I think that's going to be effective. That's going to keep people at a distance. It's going to protect the environment. It's going to be great. Bob Newhart, yes, I do love Bob Newhart. By the time I started seeing Bob Newhart, it was the Bob Newhart Show when I was a kid. So I didn't really ever see him do stand-up, but I did. He said nice things about me in the past, and I got to attend his Mark Twain Prize gala performance thing at the Kennedy Center. I got to attend and I got to perform at his request, and that was terrific. Yeah, so Bob Newhart, he's great. We're a big Pants family. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, that's Kevin Meaney right there. Chicago misses me. I miss you. In my professional opinion, how long do you think it'll be before we can see live comedy events again? Well, look, I don't know. I was scheduled. I did a gig in Minneapolis and flew home from that. I was scheduled to go the next weekend to do some shows, and there was talk of like, look, if you want to come, we're still going to do the show. We'll have less people. We'll spread them out in the crowd. So I think that we'll see I was reading today the governors are going to make some decisions about states rather than let the president completely run the show. I think that might be a good idea. I'm not... my confidence in the president, he puts on a great show. That's all I'll say about the president. But they're saying they're making plans to reopen things. So I'd imagine whenever we're allowed to do comedy, it's going to be a little bit smaller, intimate crowds. It'll probably be local acts before they're flying people like me across country, because the economics of a smaller room means there's less money to pay for airplane tickets and hotel rooms. But I mean, I'd be up to travel sooner than that. So I'm going to guess that there'll be some kind of tiny, weird comedy shows by the end of June. And I'm trying to be super conservative because maybe it'll be before then. Maybe there'll be some possible things before then. I think we might see clubs opening up with the people in the audience really spread out, and then them videoing the shows to put on the internet for other possible potential ticket buying people, or something like that, because comedy really needs a live audience for it to be good. You can't really I couldn't just do my act here into the camera. I did do that tornado joke, but that was an homage. So I don't know, but I'm hoping that we're going to be safe and able to do it sooner than June, but I think it could be the end of June. Maybe it's going to be July. Who knows? But we'll see. If you walk with nunchucks, that works too. I don't know what that means, but I guess that means for social distancing. Yeah, nunchucks will work. A baseball bat will work, or if you just take your mask off, a lot of people will back the hell up. Whoops, I'm late. You sound sick. I don't think I'm sick. I've just got a little bit of a sniffly thing, and but I'm not sick. I'm fine. The press needs a face diaper. Yeah, I think so. What about late night talk shows with an audience? I think that they're going to be the most cautious. I think they may start up, but if they have an audience, it's going to be like what the hell do I know? But I think it's going to be like when you look at the president's press conferences, people are spread out like that. They may try and do talk shows like that. I don't know. I don't know about that, but that would be my guess. Don is thinking September. Well, I think September is a safe bet. I'm going to take the under on September. Anyway, I've really enjoyed being on today. I went a little bit longer by myself. I didn't see that happening, but it turns out that it did happen. So thank you, all my friends and followers. And Belinda will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. California time. If you enjoy these, please, if you wouldn't mind, share the link or share the. Well, I'm not exactly. I think it's called sharing. Share it out on your social media because that brings more people to watch it. And maybe someday I'll be able to come to your town and bring my wife along. I've also considered doing these living room tours. I looked at a singer-songwriter method of touring where they do living room shows, and I could see trying that, doing a living room show for where you get 50 of your friends and we do some kind of donation basis. I bring my wife, I'll do my act, and then we'll sit and talk or answer questions or hang out. So that's a possibility. Anyway, thank you for watching today. I'll see you tomorrow and weekdays at 3 p.m. on Facebook is where I can read the comments as I'm doing, or YouTube you can watch, and Periscope you can watch, and it's archived there. So please share it out, and I'll look forward to seeing you again. Thank you so much. Come to Austin when I can. I was there last year. I'm trying to get back this year, but we don't know how everything works. Yeah, stay chipper. That's a good message. So stay chipper out there. Stay strong. Take care of yourselves. Everybody's got a down day once in a while, but let people cheer you up. That's a tip. When you're down, let other people cheer you up. Don't get invested in trying to tell them how terrible it is and see if you can bring them down. Try and let go a little bit. Let them cheer you up. Take care of each other. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't give up. There'll be plenty of time to give up later. All right. Thanks, everybody.